A very good afternoon. I'm so sorry I'm standing between you and lunch, but I'm told that there's another panelist in before, so I think lunch will take time. My name is Avanish. I'm the founder and CEO of Cantilever Labs, coming from Hyderabad. I'm very new to this EdTech conclave and the EdTech events that happens, and my next slide will tell you how new I am. I'm talking to an august audience of people who are probably running universities, colleges, connecting with students day in and day out. We started our operation in 2018, and my first slide will tell you that how new I am to EdTech conclaves. The slide basically tells how to make good fish curry. And why I've made this slide here is that you must have heard the quotation that give a man a fish, feed him for a day, teach him how to fish, feed him for life. This is a quotation that probably all of us have heard, but I have a genuine concern with this quotation, because if you teach me how to fish, and I go and fish from the Sukna lake, I go and fish around 100 fishes, how are you feeding me for life? Because I don't know what to do with those fish. So you have to give me one more skill set. Either you teach me how to make good fish curry, or you teach me how to sell those fishes, so that I can make something out of that and eventually make a living. That's what we do at Cantilever Labs. While running your universities, colleges, and all the setups that you have, you are teaching students how to fish, and they are probably getting very good at it. Cantilever Labs comes at a later stage, give them an additional skill of what to do with that fish. Whether someone wants to make fish curry, we teach them how to make fish curry. Someone wants to know how to sell a fish, and we teach them how to sell a fish. So we come in after probably you have completed and done a good job, so that we can make them better, make them industry ready, and get them ready for placement. So at Cantilever Labs, what we typically do is we work with colleges, getting their students ready for upcoming placements, which could be product development, which could be engineering, which could be IT, which could be data science, which could be AI/ML, which could be cloud computing, Salesforce, whatever it is. This has been our footprint so far. We have collaborated with close to 120 colleges and university, trained, placed, assessed close to 1,15,000 students across the country. And most of the good names across the country. For example, all the IITs work with us. IIT Bombay, Madras, Kanpur, Kharagpur, Roorkee, Dhanbad. Then all the bits work with us, Pilani, Hyderabad. Then some names like SRM Chennai, Geetam University, Chitkara University. And down south, as I said, I'm coming from Hyderabad. So most of the top names, top big names in education, when it comes to Shivnadar, when it comes to CMR, when it comes to Gitanjali, all have been collaborated with us since last 2018 when we started. What we typically do, it's a mad rush in EdTech. You must have seen it, and probably you're experiencing it for a time immemorial. And we are in the maze and craze of EdTech. And how exactly do we do? So we inseminate our program inside your curriculum, so that a student, when he or she is entering the class, doesn't know whose class it is, whether it is the university's class or it's a Cantilever Labs class. But while giving the engineering, while pursuing his or her engineering, they're also getting ready for the world. We don't prepare them for the upcoming on-campus or off-campus placements. We prepare them for life, so that after 2 years, 3 years down the line, they want to switch jobs, they want to do something else, they are ready, because all the frameworks that is needed to crack a placement is given to them by Cantilever Labs. So when I started Cantilever Labs in 2018, before this I used to work in a company called Futures First, where I was the global head. I was managing 2 continents, Asia and Africa. And I've been a guest lecturer, recruiter across all the top universities, call it IITs, IIMs, and ITs with since 2009. And when I started Cantilever Labs in from IIT Hyderabad in 2018, the word EdTech was a very fancy word. The word EdTech is still a very fancy word, but I come from a very old school. I genuinely feel that technology is not an answer, it's an enabler. I flew from Hyderabad this morning. A robot did not come to give this presentation. All of you guys are sitting here. You did not hear this presentation over Zoom, Google Meet, or any online setup. You wanted to touch, feel, understand each one of you in person, and maybe have a better understanding. So when I started Cantilever Labs in 2018, this is how the demography of Cantilever Labs is. In the first 6 years of Cantilever Labs, we focused on the word education completely. In the first 5 years, wanted to understand what education is. Everybody talks about there's a gap between industry and academia. You don't need me for this. You don't need anyone for this. Everybody in the world knows it. My first understanding was how much the gap is. Because if someone says the gap is 100 years, I'll resign today and I'll do something else in my life, because I can never fill that gap. But I was very fortunate to be in a conversation in IIT Bombay in which top 25 college heads, some government heads, and 25 corporate heads were there. And the agenda was, everybody in the world knows there's a gap, but can you quantify the gap? And normally these discussions are very aggressive. At IIT Bombay, it also became very abusive. And after around 1.5 hours discussion, the conclusion was the gap is 7 years, which basically means what the industry needs in 2024, the university or the curriculum will be teaching in 2031. And this session, this meeting happened in 2016. The second conclusion was the gap will become 13 years, which basically means what is needed in 2024 as per the current academic setup will be taught in 2037. And that's where the seed of Cantilever Labs was sown in my head, that something can be done. If the gap is 7 years, it's worth a shot. Let's do something with all honesty and do something about it. So the moment I went into EdTech, I only wanted to focus on the education bit. The first 5 years we focused on education, and now I'll say I'll have somewhat understanding about it. And after that, now is where we are focusing on the EdTech part, that how education, in education, technology cannot be an answer, but how technology can be an enabler. So in the next part of my presentation, I'll be telling you about a tech that we have built. So we are with colleges, we are training students from first year, second year, third year. All the training is happening offline. Every single trainer is there inside the class, in front of the trainer, in front of the students, teaching them physically, but how technology is coming into play when it comes to having an all-round and comprehensive development in those times, in those hours when probably teachers are not there. Typically the model is, if you take a placement training model, they will start training somewhere in 3.1, 3.2, they'll pack up bags and they'll leave by July. And that's when your recruitment begins. What happens after July? When you needed us the most, we are not there. We are probably somewhere else and doing some other training program. So what happens from there? Keeping all those things in mind, we built something which is called Fulcrum, which I wanted to show you now. So basically, the Fulcrum does three things. It does assess, express, impress till the time a student gets success. For example, a student is sitting in a campus interview and there are two companies which is coming, which is Accenture and Amazon. Most of the time when I talk to colleges, I tell them I am not an intelligent person, but I'm an alert person. I keep my eyes and ears open. So when I'm teaching at IIT Bombay, of course I'm teaching them and they are learning from us, but I'm also learning on the way. I'm shaping my own product, my own understanding, probably my technology, because invariably, curriculum is absolutely the same, whether it is IIT Bombay or a Chitkara University, a Shulini University or an IIT Madras. Curriculum is the same, students are the same, invariably they are lazy, they need minimum resources, maximum utilization. So what best can be done? So keeping those practices in mind, we created something. So one of the interesting practice that most of the top colleges follow is, don't talk to me or don't talk to a recruiter in the language that you know. Talk to a recruiter in the language that they understand. Suppose there are two companies which are coming for campus placement, Accenture and Amazon, and a student is registered on this platform. The two resumes which will be built, which is Accenture-centric and Amazon-centric. Now we tell the student that you put your product description. For example, you have built a project, write your project description. We have created 7 frameworks for building a fantastic resume, which we call CR7. CR7 is the code for Ronaldo in the world of football. I'm a huge sports fan, so I relate everything with sports. So with those 7 frameworks, if a student writes the project description, my tool improves the project description and gives him or her a better project description. For example, here is a project description that is written by the student, which my tool has rated 5 on 10. And my tool is ready for a better project description along with the 7 frameworks that we have created for our resume building on that. And if I put enhance, it will take some time and it will give a better project description. For example, as far as this is concerned, a better project description is common. I'll be able to talk to you about the 7 frameworks when I have a longer time span with me. And it doesn't stop here. There's a message on the left. If this resume has this project description and you are making this resume for Amazon, then by all probabilities, Amazon can ask you 5 questions on this project description, which is already sitting in your interview bucket, which is this. So on one side, you are making an Amazon-centric resume, which is ATS friendly, product friendly, and probably mouth watering for Amazon. And if that resume goes to an Amazon guy, by all probabilities for that project, what kind of questions can be asked will be sitting in your resume section. It will be sitting in your interview section, which is about resume, which will have all this thing. Now, after that, once your resume is ready, interview bucket, I will not speak much. Maybe I'll be able to speak. My stall is right here. I'll be able to talk to you about what exactly is the interview bucket, because there are 5 frameworks where we have done. In fact, what exactly you need to do for an interview at Amazon, interview at Accenture, write any company, write JP Morgan, write Morgan Stanley, write McKinsey, write Wipro, write Dr. Reddy's, write Manish Malhotra. It does not matter. The technology has been built. It is degree agnostic. It is science agnostic. You can write any name. It will use the whole world. It will use generative AI and give you a resume track, interview track, and a dream company track. For example, you have chosen Amazon. The moment you chose Amazon, my generative AI also searches the net. Because you have chosen Amazon and you have chosen product development as your preferred industry, there are few more options. For example, Microsoft is hiring, and your product or your profile looks to be a 70% match. Would you like to apply? If you do it, it will create another track for you, which is a pure Microsoft track. So yes, you are doing an on-campus placement, which is happening because of Amazon, but because you are preparing for Amazon, Microsoft, Oracle, ServiceNow, you're also getting ready for, and guess what? Microsoft is actually hiring. So why not apply off-campus and see what happens? Create a Microsoft-centric resume, prepare for Microsoft-centric interviews, create Microsoft-centric test, and you are ready for Microsoft. If I click here, Amazon, it will give you an absolute Amazon track. Now, what exactly my system is doing is, my system is scraping the internet, looking for all the questions that are asked by Amazon in the last 5 years, getting a collection of those questions and throwing it to you for your placement track on a day-to-day basis, on a weekly basis. This track is created over here, which is designed as per your understanding how close or how far are you from Amazon. Everybody in the world wants to work for Amazon, but everybody in the world cannot work for Amazon. And this also gives you a probability that today, with whatever preparation you have done, you are 64% probable to crack Amazon. And this is the formula on the right side. As far as your resume is concerned, that is 30% ready. Express interview is concerned, that is 45% ready. And as far as assessments are concerned, you are 25% ready. The moment you have 80% in all the 3, chances are bright that you will crack Amazon. So this is what we are doing. On one side, we are doing training. Offline training is happening in different colleges with our physical teachers over there. On top of that, there is a Gen AI model in which we are doing this. So with this, I'll come to an end for this session. The stall is right outside. My name is Avanish. I'm the founder of Cantilever Labs. My team is sitting right here. I'll be very, very happy to talk to each one of you. Thank you for your time and take good care.